Hello everyone, it's me, Raxus Prime, and I'm here again with Horace. We're in Sitkunde. I don't know what that's good for, but okay. And well, we're here to find Alice. Oh, you look, it's Jerry! Hi Jerry Sanfire. I don't know who that is.
Now then, said the dirty old man, let's see what you've got. Haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. I like this. I like this. Cheap as chips. Everything else is junk.
Okay.
Go on then, said the younger man, stick everything in Bertha.
Everything's such a reference to everything. Whoa! I am rich. I am rich, man. I know. I have 81,000, so I don't care. Sheesh. I'm gonna take. Okay. Okay.
Oh. Restocking on shield orbs. Very wise, sir. That will... Oh.
Why not, right? We still need it. Yeah, I think I need these two.
The binocular vision upgrade will allow you to carefully examine your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
It retails for... Oh.
I could use them, you know. Oh wait, what was that? Acclaimed jam. You got a fiery kick. Not too bad. Okay. I don't know. Arcade. Oh, this is something. Wait. These are friends! They're from Friends! Nice reference. They are referenced a lot. Oh, jeez.
I was surprised to find Alice's house was a lot larger on the inside, and strangely, it lacked any color.
Yeah, I agree.
Curiously, this was a ridiculous amount of stairs for such a small cottage.
Yeah, what is going
How
on?
strange everything was. I remember wondering if I had been changed in the night. Inside was a beautiful brightly colored field, but there was no way I could fit through such a tiny...
I don't know, what happened? Ah, no! What happened?
door.
Thank you.
On the table was a large cake. I'd never eaten anything before, but for some reason I felt compelled to have a taste.
Ha ha ha! Nice! Horace can fly.
Suddenly, a large glass bottle appeared. I don't know if it was all the growing that I had been doing, but I felt like I needed a drink.
I drink, don't I? What? What is going on? Okay. Ah, God damn it! This is weird! Even for me, who is weird! Why? 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 Why did I sound like that? Okay, I missed it. That was not smart of me. No! I'm getting groomed. The cat, I hate the cat. Run to the door. Right. What is wrong with this? Has she been taking drugs? Have I been taking drugs? Where am I supposed to go? What happened? Did I fall out the earth? Well, I'm gonna go there. Trippy. Come on. Remember not to jump down here. But how in the world? How? Oh, how in the world am I falling off the world? Oh my god, what is going on now? It is from my mind or someone else's mind? But it's wow! 2 platform to 3D. Oh my god. No. This is going from my mind. Oh my god, I remember that one. Oh no. No. Ish. Whoop. Sorry. Oh, okay. I think we need to go through the corridor with the skeletons. I don't want to, but like, I think we kind of have to. Oh, creepy. This is one thing that probably is going on through his mind pretty much a lot. Yeah, I think so. Please. What? What? Oh, uh-oh. No way! Are they doing an Undertale reference? No way, they're doing an Undertale reference too? There we go. Oh, okay. Yes! Whew! Good job, Horace! Now he's the king. Okay.
Look who I found at the train station, said a distant voice. For some reason they were all dressed as wizards. Oh my god, shouted the voice. Stop! Alice explained what was going on, while the man swiftly put my head back together.
What?
And this is Simeon, said Alice. The man insisted I called him Sim, and apologized for attempting to hack my CPU.
Ah.
Alice laughed and said, sorry. Sim tends to sneeze whenever he's stressed or nervous.
Okay.
I was worried you were like other robots. I'm glad you're okay though. I've had mixed results in the past. This is Betty, said Sim, and this idiot is Fluffers. It's like they're our children, said Alice, although it's strange, it was them that sort of found us. And even before Sim had reprogrammed them, they were kind of nice to me. Betty even tried to clean up some of my rubbish. So, said Mr. Silton, the reason we're visiting is our little robot friend wants to see Heather and her mum again. Plus he tells me that there's some sort of problem with escaped nanobots in the old house. Alice looked puzzled. What do you need me for then? She said. I'm assuming you've not broken the habit of a lifetime and thrown away Sim's security pass. Sim smirked at Alice. It'll be here somewhere. Mr. Silton smiled. Excellent, he said. Then I presume you've still got that video camera you stole when you were working on Richard and Judy. Sim guided us down a set of basement stairs. Well, thanks to Alice's quirky hobby, he sighed as he flicked the light on. We've still got everything. Mr. Silton smiled. Then, he said, I think I've got a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, me cleaning up. It wouldn't be the first thing. Ooh! Who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle. Says Ludwig Lewis Carroll Dodgson. Oh, that's actually true. Because we all wander around the
Although
world
I would have
thinking...
loved to have stayed in Alice's picturesque town, it was time to get back on the train and continue my quest.
Okay. Next town. Hey, Yoey! Hey... Yeah, I forgot. Wonderland.
It looked like I would need a ticket to get through the fairground's automatic doors.
Okay.
It looked like I would need a ticket to get through the fairground's automatic
Oh!
doors.
Oh! Yes! Faulty Towers! Faulty Towers! I love this place already. I wanna live there. I wanna be together with Jessica. No, not Jessica. Rachel. But that's Phoebe! That's Jerry Seinfeld. Everyone is here! I don't know who Oh! Oh, whoa, whoa! Chris Bishop Belair! Oh! Nice! Still don't know who that is. What is this? Oh, it's you. You freaking. You're everywhere. Let's continue the quest! Thomas Tank Engine, I'm not a fan of you.
Mind the doors.
Mind the
Train is
doors.
now departing.
Big city is done, and now we only have to go to Factory Con. Combat too.
The clouds were gathering as we pulled into Factoryton and the professor's factory.
Yeah. Let's go.
Act.
Cold specks of rain began to fall as I stepped off the train onto the deserted platform. The station looked as if it hadn't been used in years. There were no conductors, no ticket barriers, not even an up-to-date timetable. The place was like a ghost town.
Forbidden. This is Factoryton.
That doesn't sound good. Factory Town seemed to be just sitting here, trying not to die. This is a very good plan. I fell off the earth again. Solomon Automatons? Is that where he's hiding? Wow.
The security system jumped to life. I knew the only way I could deactivate it was to destroy its power source. That's when I spotted a perfect shiny surface. Maybe I could deflect one of the lasers toward the generator.
Yeah, maybe. Ah! Okay. We can do that.
Mr. Silton and the others arrived and changed out of their disguises. Although Mr. Preston was moaning as apparently Mrs. Silton had only washed his and Mr. Logan's Halloween costume.
Oh, I'm just angry. Yeah, I'm just angry. I'm just trying to calm down.
As we entered the extravagant corridor, the most beautiful tune played in the distance. But almost as soon as we began to enjoy its dulcet tones, the music stopped, dead.
That's not good. Not good at all, if you ask me. Oh! Is he dead?
The professor was dead, but everything seemed wrong. He was old, very old, maybe 20 years older than when I'd last seen him. Mr. Silton sounded very sad when he said, "How did anyone even get in here? I don't know what to do now. I suppose we'll head back to the train station."
Yeah, guess that's the only thing we can do.
It was hard to believe the professor was gone. Although he was always suspicious of me, I was sad to think I'd never see him again.
Yeah. Whoa!
Is it? Yes, it is. This is the right day, said the professor as he jabbed at a small metal box. I don't know how much time I've got to explain, he continued as a bright light began to surround everyone. Oh, not long at all.
What? 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 I have no idea. I'm just enjoying the ride.
We had reappeared just as smoothly as we had left, but we were somewhere very different. Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan were speechless, but the professor just continued studying his box. Looking back, I suppose I was rather stupid, as I ended up chasing a beautiful butterfly. I was lost, but soon I realized I wasn't as alone as I thought.
Whoa!
I couldn't believe we had time traveled, but there was no time to sightsee.
I agree.
This was one of the most valuable things I'd seen. The prehistoric world looked like paradise, except for the killer cavemen.
Yep.
I didn't know how much this was worth, but it looked expensive. I would have liked to have a look around, but I had to get back to the others. This seemed quite valuable.
I'm jumping too far! Run, Horace! I feel like I'm in Forrest Gump. Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Dan. Come on! I'm having people chasing me. Oh! Away!
After literally 10 minutes of Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan saying, "Whoa," and "dude," the professor began to explain, "Time travel, if I can find the correct point in time, then I should be able to, well, make things better. I suppose it's like we're in that excellent movie," chuckled Mr. Logan. "Back to the Future?" replied Mr. Preston. "No, that excellent movie. Back to the Future 2? Time Bandits? Time Cop? Terminator? Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day." The box let out a loud bleep as the professor gave it a heavy thump. "This damn thing's so dependent on the maths used to calculate where the Earth is at any one point in time and space, that it's almost random where we'll end up, or even how long the time window will stay open. That last one was the shortest I've had yet." Although obviously apprehensive of our situation, I think Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan were too excited to really pay attention. But they were far less excited when I asked what his longest stay was, and the professor replied, "About 15 years. I was stranded in ancient Egypt for so long. They had me build them a steam-powered robot. You should have seen the things they had it build. Yes, wonderful things. It was like I was Thoth incarnate, or the modern Prometheus. Speaking of which, robot, have a look around, see if you can find anything to make a fire."
Very good point. Whoa!
As great as my shoes were, they weren't much use when there was nothing for them to stick to. I rolled deep into the cave, but at least I had found the professor some firewood. Now I just needed to get back to everybody else.
Huh. Alright. Look at that. A spider.
It may seem ridiculous, but I really did fall this far into the cave.
Well, we're in ancient time then.
Things started to look familiar. I was pretty sure I was nearly back where I had originally fallen.
Okay. Oh, I hate when I die so much. I started to wonder how in the world this happened. But it was time travel. And he's dead.
Everybody warmed themselves by the fire. In the orangey glow, the cave even looked a little homely. Mr. Logan was much more comfortable now that he could see his surroundings, but Mr. Preston kept saying, "We're in bloody dinosaur times." The professor laughed. He pointed out that there was 65 million years between dinosaurs and the emergence of man. But that just made Mr. Preston panic about possible dinosaur ghosts. I got the feeling Mr. Logan had heard this kind of talk before, as he sighed when he said, "Oh, I suppose you believe in ghosts as well now, do you?" "Well, yeah," said Mr. Preston. "Barry's missus says this bloke who works with her uncle reckons his brother has, fact." And with that, he began to tell the most amazing story I had ever heard. He explained how there was a man traveling through the Black Wall Tunnel who saw a young motorcyclist stood by a smashed-up motorbike. The man stopped, so the motorcyclist told him an address, but when he got in the back of the car, he fell silent, clearly in shock. "This isn't a ghost story," interrupted Mr. Logan. "This is called giving someone a lift." Mr. Preston was annoyed. Mr. Logan's stupid joke had ruined his train of thought. The brother of a bloke who works with Mrs. Silton's uncle gave a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Black Wall Tunnel. I said, just happy to be part of the conversation. "Yeah, that's it," said Mr. Preston as he explained that when the man arrived at the address, the motorcyclist had vanished. He said the man, not knowing what else to do, knocked on the door of the house. Soon an old lady answered, and when the man asked her if she had a son, she burst out crying and sobbed, "I did have, but he died 10 years ago today. Just outside the Black Wall Tunnel." I couldn't believe my audio sensors. This was concrete proof of the afterlife. I mean, Mr. Logan did point out that the story was from a children's TV show called Grange Hill. But you can't argue with the facts.
Okay.
Soon, the professor had finished inputting whatever data his box needed. "Robot," he said, "we need to be outside for my computations to be truly accurate. Find us an exit from this platonic allegory." "The cave. Find us a way out."
Right. Okay. What?
This block looked perfect, so I decided I would only place it where the professor said I should.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eh. Come on. 2 blocks more. Whee. That should be done. Aha. Damn it. Yeah, yeah. Yes. I've died too many times. I deserve to. Haha. You'll fucking die anyway. No! Woo! 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 I feel like I put the mouse when I do that. Woo! Well, we are in the prime at times, so. Can they stop eating me? I am not even good. But they don't apparently care. Here we go. Yippee!
Well, I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow, so, here we go, said the professor as the glowing light surrounded us again.
The moon. The yada yada,
This
whatever.
is it, said the professor as he looked around. Oh no, he gasped as his expression became far more serious. It's the wrong time.
Oh my god, it was them! Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
We had appeared in another barren desert. I was beginning to think that the past was made of nothing but sand. The professor looked concerned as he examined his box. It was then that we realized we were completely surrounded. The men seemed to think I was some kind of god. Or, as it turned out, some kind of sacrifice.
Okay.
The stalactite above me looked quite unstable, like it was ready to come down.
Yeah. Weep.
Now, this was clearly worth something.
I don't like this. It's too confusing. But I feel like I'm going closer to the ending here. I don't know why, but maybe in the next episode, maybe it will be the end. Yeah, who knows? Can't I kill them?
Some things were worthless junk, but this could be sold for a decent price.
I don't know what I did. Decent price. I think I have a lot. I think I can sell it for a lot of dough. I think. Yoo-hoo, I'm away
As
from
I
it.
got to the top of the cliff, I could see everyone else being led away in heavy chains.
Oh, no.
Their extravagantly dressed capturers were only moving them in a slow march, so I followed them at a safe distance.
Oh.
Strangely, the men seemed to ask the professor something, who nodded in agreement. Although they clearly knew each other, the man in charge pushed the professor into a small wooden cage, along with Preston and Logan. The men then left. I was about to attempt to free my friends when one of the men returned with some tools. It was then I heard some machinery start in the distance, and the man left again. I then found out what the machinery was.
Whoa. Ah!
Mr. Preston took a chance to do something I'm guessing he thought was brave, shouting, "Catch you later, you ancient Egyptian dickweeds."
Oh my god, how long is this?
"This looks right." "Stay here," whispered the professor, "just in case."
What? That's how he died! Holy...
"Sorry to take you on a less than excellent adventure," whispered the professor, his voice slowly weakening, "but I knew you needed to see these things. I was always worried about the military possibilities, but I'm pleased to see your consciousness software is still growing.
No.
Life is a state of mind."
Yep.
I had no idea what he meant, but he looked so happy.
No.
"Quick!" shouted Mr. Logan. "Hide!"
Hide.
I jumped into a large cupboard with Mr. Preston, who whispered something about seeing some people on the security monitor. The cupboard door was pretty thick, so I couldn't really hear what was going on, but suddenly I heard Mr. Silton shout, "Run!" When Mr. Preston eventually opened the door, we saw a large glowing light, exactly like the one from the professor's time machine. It was only then that I realized that we had reappeared just before we had left.
Yep.
As we walked back to the train station, Mr. Silton was truly confused. All he kept saying was, "What the bloody hell happened?"
You don't want to know. Believe me, you don't want to know. Nothing is too high for the daring mortal. His storm heaven is their folly. Pointless story can flack us. Yeah,
Soon we
true.
were all gathered around the dusty blackboard back at Mr. Silton's house. He was explaining what was an increasingly complicated plan. "And that, ladies and gentlemen," he said, "is the plan of the century."
Alright. Nope. Okay.
Sim explained that Heather and her mum were in Lab 33. He said I should find them, then take them to the gate on the other side of the base. I nodded, even though I must have looked terrified.
Yeah.
"I'll need to register these two," he continued. "Hopefully the guards won't notice I walked in with 3 robots and now only have 2. He wished me luck and reminded me it was Lab 33, but you only need to tell a robot something once.
Good point. But you know what? It's time to end it right here, guys, and hopefully you like this as much as I do. I am confused and I'm also very terrified because I'm concentrating so much and I'm like, wow, yeah, bleh. But what can you do, huh? So, as I said, it's time to end. So if you like this, leave a like, and of course, join the family fan squad by pressing the subscribe button down below. But people, I say this. Look down below, you can see in the description the links to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Twitch, where I will be live streaming at least 1 or 2 per week. So, check us out. Me and some other guys gonna do it. And, yep. I hope you have a very fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!